Morning.
Hello.
It is Monday. Oh, it is 9/11. Just a reminder.
Yep. Wow, I didn't realize that was today. Okay. Well, again, I said last week that we were celebrating a holiday here in America. Today is not a holiday. If you're watching, you are outside of the country and you have no idea what September 11th means to the citizens of the United States of America. On September 11th, 2001, there was the biggest terrorist attack in American history. Two planes flew into the Twin Towers in New York City, and I don't know if it was hundreds or thousands of lives lost. There was another plane that they believe was heading towards the White House. It crashed in Pennsylvania. And then there was another plane that flew into the Pentagon. Crazy. That started the war with Al Qaeda. And we celebrate, or we don't celebrate, we take the time each year on September 11th to remember the lives that were lost and the lives of the families, to recognize the families of the members that were lost. And so it's a somber day. I did not realize that was today, and now with the news I was told earlier, it makes today pretty rough.
Yeah. What's new?
What's new? Got a busy weekend ahead of us, man.
Indeed. I have a headache.
We got a
So
busy
great.
3 weeks ahead of us. We have that trip to Kentucky. We have the trip to Illinois the following weekend. And then come back early Sunday morning to come to church again. So we got that concert. And then got scavenger hunt and regular service, and then 4-1 service that evening. And I move the next week.
Oh, that's crazy fast.
Yeah, I think it's the next week. No. He said the 6th or the 8th.
So we've talked. That was interesting, cracking voicage. A lot about discipleship this whole year.
Yeah,
Have we had that as an entire topic?
on the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. This is episode 21, by the way.
Yeah, it is. So what does discipleship look like to you?
Which side of it? Me being the discipler?
Yes.
Being the disciplee. So, as for me, being a discipler, as Christians, as new Christians, you're called to be a disciple, and then once you have walked with Jesus for a while and you've walked with others for a while, you are called to be the discipler. And with me, working at a church, being hired to do that, I often say that God has entrusted me with a flock, and now I'm to shepherd that flock. And so, I have my team, my worship team that I try to disciple, I try to shepherd. It's difficult because life. I lead a youth worship team, so I have a worship team of high school kids, and we can't always go. I can't go out to lunch with them during the week, and I really just get to see them one time a week, and then on Sundays, and then if there's an event going on through the week where I may see some of them, I see them then. But in the time that I am with them, the way that I try to disciple is just lead them in a way that makes them confident or gain confidence on the stage, but also, I try to figure out what's going on in their lives and figure out if they're having problems or if their lives are just going great, and then just to pray over them and to let them know that I care about what's going on in their lives and I care about them, because oftentimes we fall into the trap of thinking that people don't care about us.
I feel like it's a very hard line of discipling and becoming too close.
It is.
Because there's people quite a bit that like want to hang out with me, and I don't let myself a lot of times because I don't want it to be a constant thing. Like I'm busy enough.
Right.
It's hard enough for like me and you to hang out like on a normal day.
Especially when my wife doesn't want you to come to gym with us.
For real. So I'm trying to explain it without giving an example and giving people away.
I mean, I'll give an example. So I believe that I got like in trying to disciple the last worship team I had, and by last I mean like I still have a couple people on the team, but they were the ones who I inherited when I came in. I got too close with them. I was their leader, and we'd go and hang out at least twice a week. And it wasn't always. I mean, the times we were hanging out, we weren't always doing things that were quote unquote good. It wasn't things that were bad, but it wasn't anything that could would really be a benefit to their lives and to their Christian walk. And the guys and I, we would talk like Christian guys. We wouldn't talk like guys. Like we wouldn't be just like talking about. I don't even
cussing.
Yeah, I don't even know what men talk about that I don't. But we weren't cussing. We weren't like just being completely vulgar and disgusting with our language. But we would talk like guys. I wish that I didn't let that happen, because I'm still most of their leaders in a sense, and God has still entrusted me to shepherd them. But they have seen a side of me that I try to reserve to a few people, and a lot of people got to see that.
Yeah, that makes sense too. I think for me, it's a big part of it is I don't want to let them down either. So there's some people that I've gone to lunch with before, and they just keep asking, and I feel bad for like just not doing it. Mm-hmm. But it's also like I don't have time to be a good friend for you.
Yeah,
like I really don't. If I did, I'd do it. Mm-hmm. But we could go through my whole week, and like people would probably jaw drop and be like, "You don't have a job, and you're that busy." Yeah, that's why I don't have a job.
Right. And oftentimes, whenever we're called to disciple someone, we know that God is calling us to disciple them.
That's true too.
And then you have the people that want to be discipled by us, and God is not calling us to disciple them. And it's so hard to try to tell them like, I have enough on my plate right now. Right? You may want me to be your leader, but I have the group that God has entrusted to me. Let me help you find the right person for you. Because in all reality, we may not be the right person for them. Mm-hmm. Like we may lead them down a path that leads away from God, not trying to. And that may be why God is not entrusting, or God is not telling us to disciple them.
That's good.
But we also have to remember that although Jesus had, we often think of Jesus having 12 disciples. He did have a close group of 3. Then he had the 12. But then the people that he was around a lot and he taught to a lot was over 100 people. I believe the number is 127. If you know in the comments, you can correct me. It wasn't just the 12. He had a large group of disciples, but when he was crucified. So we just have to remember that. Although we're busy and everything, if God wants us to do something, we need to lean in and trust that he has a plan, and he has a way to help us get everything done and live our lives while also discipling those people. It's difficult.
Yeah. when you have been or were discipled,
Mm-hmm.
did you realize that up front, or did you realize it after the fact, or in the middle of it?
In the middle. Um, I don't want to say something that's just completely false, but I can assume that we were likely discipled by the same person um, recently in the last like few years. And I hold, this person holds a very important place in my heart um, because he devoted so much time to me. When I mean, he admits he saw something in me. He didn't know what it was, and he had no idea if it was going to work out. Um, but we would spend at least 2 days a week with each other for 2 years, talking. Him just trying to develop, or trying to help me develop my relationship with Christ, but also trying to be a godly man, a godly husband, a godly leader to my teams, and just also increasing my wisdom, um, the way I held myself, the way I thought about myself. It just everything. It did take me until like you said until the middle of it to realize what was going on. Just I wasn't really thinking about it at the beginning. I was like, this dude just wants to hang out with me. Like that's really cool. He's a pastor and he wants to hang out with one of his leaders.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I have so much respect for him because of that, because of what he did for me. How about you? When did you realize when you were being discipled?
I think once I really learned what a disciple was, um, from both aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess in the middle is correct. Closer to the front.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know, because it started a long time ago, randomly, to where it was like a friendly thing until I really got everything figured out.
Right.
Then it just kind of grew and grew and grew, especially like turning into an internship and all that stuff. So it kind of increased then.
Yep.
But I noticed it beforehand. So yeah, in the middle.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what uh, I I don't know if this man has a gift for I give it truly as a gift for identifying people, but I mean the two of us he poured a lot of time into, and now I mean I'm on staff at that same church, and you're doing the internship. Um,
Right.
Clearly have a plethora of leadership qualities. So I don't know if that I don't know if that's his calling. I know it's
That's
only
pretty
like
cool.
I know it's a small group that that it's happened with, but um, that's very I've
Plays
never
two
really
for
thought about
two.
that. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Well, I mean Connor too.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
3 for 3.
Shoot.
And then his other one that he has right now.
Oh, yep. I think I think they'll work out.
Yeah. She'll kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. So he may have just a crazy calling that maybe he hasn't figured that out yet.
Maybe not. I don't know how that'd turn into a career.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a career. I mean, it could be like he can just be a trainer of sorts.
Yeah.
We all, I mean, even me, like I still have room to grow in my leadership abilities. Like something that I struggle with to this day is cross generational leadership. Like I have such a hard time thinking that I can lead people that are 30 years older than me, 20 years older than me, because for me it goes like it's the Sunday morning thing. Sometimes I'm the leader that day. Like I'm like Pastor Kyle may be out, so um I have to lead the set that week. And it's on Sunday morning. It's not that big of a deal, but it's during the week thinking like, oh, I want this person to play this part, or I'm going to do this to the track. I want the team to follow me here. But they've been doing it for so much longer than I have. And I'm afraid to an extent to say, like, hey, I want to do this, and I think you should follow me in doing this. Because I'm like I said, I'm 20, 30 years younger than these guys, and that's something I've struggled with for forever. Even when I came on as the youth worship leader, because those guys, like they were younger than me, like Micah and Clarissa, right? But they had more experience on a worship team than I did. But when I was brought in as the leader. It was very strange.
Yeah. That would get tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if I can relate to that anywhere. I don't think I can. Like an example like that. Where I was younger, doing something.
So right now.
Well, the only thing would be like playing varsity basketball as a freshman. But I'm not necessarily the leader in that aspect. But it's still awkward.
Yeah. Right now, you are leading a small group. I mean, you can say we're both leading it, or I don't even know who's leading it. We are in a small group. We're in a small group, but we do it at your house. I would consider you the leader. Okay. How is that for you? Like, how does that make you feel? I know maybe it's just a brand new revelation to you that you're the leader of this group. But even if that's so, how does it make you feel that that God is entrusting you to lead this group?
It's weird.
It is weird, yeah.
It's probably the best word I have. It's weird. Mm-hmm. It helps that we were all semi-close.
Yeah.
Or at least had relationships with each other.
Mm-hmm. Thinking about the group that weird. It was, like when it first started, and we had the two people that have left so far. We had Goop and Micah. Just like, it seemed right with everyone, but there was just something about Goop that like, it opened up the group. Mm-hmm. Goop didn't talk. He didn't say anything really. He brought snacks, but there was just something about like Goop brought a spirit of like youth almost to the group, and it was nice. I enjoyed it because now it's all us old folks. Yeah. I mean, Clarissa's not even really coming anymore.
If she doesn't work, she's there, but yeah.
But now we've got Jalen and Corey, and we're all older, and so now it's gonna get into like we're gonna be talking about marriage a lot, and we're gonna be talking about like stuff that adults have to do. When before we weren't always talking about that.
What happens when we're 30, bro?
What happens when we're 30? Man, don't even. I got 8 years.
I'll be 24 next. Wait. How old am I?
You'll be 24. You're 23.
I'll be 24 next month.
Yeah, I'll be 23 in December.
That's crazy. It's time to have a son.
Time for me to have a son?
Time for me to have a son.
Shoot, man. Maya's
5 months old.
You need to give it some time.
9 months. 9. Should be 14 months old.
You want another baby right now?
I do not.
I want a baby right now.
You can have one. If you have a boy, though, I'll be very jealous. I wouldn't be jealous. I'd just be jealous that I don't have one. Not that. Maya's pretty great.
I think we may have talked about it, and I know Taylor and I have, but it was a joke. Like, oh, what if we have a boy and Maya and our boy can date?
Oh,
I don't want that, man. It'd just be weird.
It would be weird. We'd be family though. I mean, we're already family.
Yeah, but like if my boy is anything like me, when I was in high school, I don't want him to. I don't want him near a girl. He's gonna have to wait to date until he's married.
I just hope my daughter feels led to not be married ever.
Yep.
she's like, no, I'm not supposed to be with a guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
When she's 40, she can change her mind.
I want my children to have the same mindset as Kyle's girls because they say, I don't want to have a baby in my belly. I want to adopt. Yes.
Sounds good.
Yep.
You can do that next year if you want. No, it's crazy, man. It's scary. Like, I know how I was to women and starting in grade school.
Yep.
I can't imagine. I mean, it's just going to, I'm sure everything has gotten worse and will continue.
Yep. I mean, now, like,
and the normalcy of cheating and yada, yada.
Dude, I can't. Oh, man. It's every day.
It's normal.
It makes no sense to me.
I was the type that I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. So I just didn't end it. I just
moved on.
And then they found out and I was like, yeah, well. Dang. Pre-Christ.
Right. Yes.
But it was from a nice heart. It just didn't appear that way.
I just feel like it's every couple nowadays. Like everyone is, and it's just like, okay. I mean, you have, what is it called? Polygamy, where
I've heard that word.
Where it like you're a multiple person couple.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like really popular.
It is, yeah.
Like comparatively to when I was younger.
And I mean that only leads to there's no way it'll lead people together. Because at some point two of the partners are going to become more attracted to one another and they're going to just exclude the other one. And like it just does no good, and that other one is struggling, and cheating in itself, I mean, that leads to just pain.
It's a tricky one.
Yep.
Is there a better way to handle it? Was I wrong? Yes. But we heard that this morning. There is no covenant there.
Yep.
Not saying, I mean, depending how you do so, right? Like nowadays, if you message a female at all and say, hey, good game today, you're cheating, apparently.
To an extent, yeah.
Some
females will see it like that.
Oh, 100%. And then others see it as you held his hand, or you held her hand, you kissed her. Obviously, I can see that. I don't know where I was going, but I don't know. Dating, I might be wrong, but I don't think I've seen that in the Bible.
Dating? No, and cheating and dating, cheating while dating, I don't know if it's really that big of a deal. Because like you said, there's no covenant.
Right, but if you are going out sexually,
yes,
you're sinning regardless.
Yes. Because all dating is figuring out who you want as a lifetime partner. I don't subscribe to it, but I know a lot of people.
You don't ring the bell.
But I know a lot of people, like they'll just date a lot of people at a time. Like they'll be dating a ton of people.
Like a literal date.
Yeah.
Like let's go out to dinner. And
like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, right? That's some people's lives. Now, for a lot of people, it's not just going out to dinner. My wife used to like it. So while we were dating.
I used to watch it when I was like 7 because my grandma loved it. I got into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
It's interesting. It's just drama.
Yeah.
But because there's a lot of people involved.
Yes. Yes. So, like I said, I don't subscribe to it because it just leads to nothing good. Like wait for God to show your life partner. Don't go out dating when you're 13 years old trying to think like,
it's easy to say now that we found our life partner.
Yes.
Because I've been with people before, I'm like, oh, I guess this is going to be who I'm marrying.
Yeah, I thought that was my last girlfriend as well.
And then I saw Hannah. Like, never spoken a word to her, and I was just like, that's it. Like, I don't know who this human is at all, but I know for a fact, like, we're going to get married at some point, which is scary.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell someone wait for that, because I genuinely felt a few times Like, oh, I guess this is going to be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Now that feeling compared to what I felt with Hannah, zero. Like, not at all. But in that moment, 6 years ago or whatever it was, you don't know that.
Right.
So it's very tricky. Like, Hannah waited for the one. She waited for me.
Mm-hmm.
How did she, I don't know. I'm just blown away. How did she not think, okay, maybe he's cute, whatever. I mean, I guess she had the same feeling I did.
I remember Hannah saying like, "Oh yeah, like I'm gonna go to New York after I graduate college. Like none of these guys around here interest me." And even like when you first talked to her,
she saw me walk into Connection Point Church at the old building. I think the first time I was over there.
Yep.
And she heard the Lord say, "Don't go near him." But that's because I wasn't ready.
Yep.
Which is wild. Because I never knew she existed until I saw her here on stage for a Christmas thing.
Yep.
In the choir thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've never seen her here ever.
Right.
PP, it was a little different building though. Like it was kind of weird. Like if she was in the media room, I'd never ever see her. Mm-hmm. Here it's like, well, they either.
I don't remember ever seeing anyone at the old church.
It's all a blur.
Yep.
To me. Like I don't remember Micah on stage.
Yeah.
I remember Kyle, obviously. Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you the drummer. I remember Cheryl because she was playing piano at Crossroads when I went, so I knew her like whole family very well. Mm-hmm. But like that's all I recall. Jonathan, like the first or second week I ever went, that's when he got introduced on stage with like his white jean jacket. I was like, this guy.
His white jean jacket. Did you ever see him in his little Cardinal zip up he had?
The blue?
Yeah.
What a guy. He's such a cutie. Such a cutie. But, yeah, I don't know why. It was all such a blur. I wasn't paying attention either, though, probably. I mean, I was. Like, I was getting better. Mm-hmm.
And look at where you're at now.
It's really weird because I've always felt the Spirit of God, even though I wasn't truly dedicating my life. Yeah. Like, I always felt convicted.
Yes.
Always felt the presence of God if it was there in the room or building I was in. Mm-hmm.
Well, you were a Christian growing up, right? Like, did you go to church?
Yeah.
Do you think you accepted Jesus at a young age?
I know I did. I definitely know I did at the Camp CleareCut I went to.
Okay.
Because I dug in like really deep for a while, but I mean it just fizzled out, and then grade school happened. I mean, yeah, it just fizzled out.
I think the reason that you always felt conviction and that you felt the Spirit of God throughout your life was because I think we will, if we accept Christ, the Bible says the only unpardonable sin is to deny the Holy Spirit. So as long as you do not deny Jesus, deny the Holy Spirit, then you still have Jesus inside of you.
Yeah.
Because you accepted him in. He doesn't just go.
Right. Which is wild. Just because in my brain, like I always come back to the thing, like the road is very narrow.
Yep.
And so it's like, to me, how I was living, even though I might have been saved when I was, 8. Mm-hmm. To me, when I was a junior in high school, if I would have died, there's no way I'm going to heaven. Mm. Because I'm living in sin, which, I mean, we're always living in sin, but I wasn't doing anything about it either, right? Like, I didn't want to change. Even though I was convicted, I was ignoring conviction, which I feel like is horrible. So I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows that.
I often, even when I was away from God, I often found myself asking for forgiveness just because, like, I knew what I was doing was bad.
Yeah. No, that's good. Do you want Chick-fil-A?
Sure.
Yes, bro. They have this. Okay.
Do not tell me you tried it.
I have not tried it. If you have tried it, you have to let me know, all 12 of you watching.
Put it down in the comments if you've tried the honey pimento chicken sandwich.
I got to try it, but it's going to suck. But 3 people to me have tried it, and they've said it's good, and then their comeback is, when has Chick-fil-A gave you something that's not good?
Yep. I have never tried pimento cheese.
Have you never had the combination at Wibb's?
Here's my thing, man. I know that it's just cheese and pimento peppers. I know that's all it is. There's just something about the way it looks.
I'll say I used to hate pimento cheese, and I've actually never had pimento cheese except for one place, and it's at Wibb's on their sandwich. And it is unbelievable.
Yep, nope.
But it doesn't look weird. Chick-fil-A's commercial looks like coleslaw.
It does. You know what I thought it was? I thought it was crushed pineapples and mayonnaise.
I thought it was like some weird like Hawaiian barbecue sweet tangy thing.
It looks disgusting.
Instead, it's
it will
more
not be coming into my body.
Let's I'll get one and we'll split it and then get whatever else. It can't be good, but I guess I'll try it. See how it goes.
Yes, but if you've tried it, please put it down in the comments. And if you're watching and you want to hear us talk about something you're really interested in, put that down in the comments as well.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Yes. And we will call it a day right there.
Love y'all. Enjoy this outro. Peace.
Peace.